Alright, boys and girls, let's get into this right here. We're going to be graphing systems of equations. We're going to find the solution. We're going to talk about what kind of system it is. All of this stuff over here, the slope and the x and y intercepts, those are to help you to graph. So let's walk you through the whole thing. Before I do, I want to make sure that you understand that I'm going to give you guys some shortcuts, some information that you should have that helps make all of this pretty much a lot easier for you. And if you don't know this information right now, you can pause the video and go ahead and write it down. I'll put that there, right? But you should have all this in your notes somewhere, and what would be even best is if you would to go find it. Use your old notes to help you with this. Your old notes are going to be your best resource when you're studying, when you're trying to review and remember. But yeah, enough about that. Let's get into it, right? I'll share these Post-its again as we go. Uh-oh, got my ruler. Hold on. All right. So the first one right here, we have two equations that are in slope-intercept form. That's y equals mx plus b, right? So I've got my little cheat sheet here. This is how we're going to do it, all right? So our slope we know is it's the coefficient of x. So our first one, negative 3/4, second one, negative 3/4. So right off the bat, the slopes are equal. That means the lines are parallel, right? If the lines are parallel, that means we're going to have one of two situations right here. We're either going to have infinitely many solutions, which means the two lines coincide, or we're going to have no solution. It's going to be inconsistent. So let's find out which one it is. Now, let's do our y-intercepts. Those are easy, right? It's just that b value at the end. We have y equals m. That's mx plus b. So b is negative 3. That's the y-intercept. First equation, b is negative 1. All right, now let's do our x-intercept. So there's a little something going on here because we have a slope that is a fraction, right? So our x-intercept is negative b over m. So let's be really careful. We have a fraction. We have also negative, right? So let's do this first one really carefully. So negative b over m, negative 3 over 4. All right, now that might look just horrifying, but it's not too bad because this is just division. So I know a negative times a negative is positive, right? This is just division. And what ends up happening when you divide by a fraction is you end up just multiplying by the reciprocal. So this is going to be 1 times negative 4/3. So 1 times 4/3 is just 4/3. So negative 4/3, comma 0. That's the first one. Let's go ahead and do the second one. Careful with your negatives, right? And so we have negative 3. Over 1, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to just skip this step and I'm going to skip that step. I'm going to go right to here. I'm just going to multiply by the reciprocal, negative 4/3. So this right here becomes positive, right? And then we have another negative, right? So our answer is going to be negative, and we can reduce this one. 3 goes into 3 one time, right? 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. So that's what we got. Let's go ahead and graph it. Negative 1, and then down 3, 1, 2, 3, over 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now we could go ahead and count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, to make sure we have a nice pretty line. These two are parallel. This is going to be an inconsistent system. They don't have any of the same points. They would have the same y-intercept if they coincided. So they don't. So I know I just got to graph them both and it'll be good. So negative 3, right? And now our slope. So, well, we can't go down, so we're going to have to, so you can go down and left to make a negative, or you can go up and right to make a negative slope. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, over 1, 2, 3, 4, and there we go. Let's go ahead and graph that. There we go. So we have no solution, which makes this inconsistent. Yep, there we go. All right, now we're not going to do them all. This one right here, for example, the different slopes, they're going to cross, right? It's going to be a consistent system, independent. So you're just going to figure out all this stuff. You're going to do the slopes just like we did right there. And if you want to check, I will put a link in the description where you can go and see. You can check all your answers when you're done. If you're an idiot, you can just cheat, but I mean, that's not going to help you in a test, and this is to help you learn, right? So you can use it to check. You can actually, yeah, if you're smart about it, man, you can really learn a lot by checking your answers. So anyway, let's get to it. This one right here. Let's be smart. This one, oh my goodness, look at this one. We have one that's in slope-intercept form, and we have one that's in standard form. So we just talked about slope-intercept form. So let's go ahead and do that one right there. We can tell our slope for equation number 1 is -2. We can tell that our y-intercept is 0, 4. And then we have negative b over m. So that's going to be negative of -2. Oops, sorry. It's going to be -4 over -2. Negative divided by a negative is positive. There we go. So I was distracted. I was actually thinking about the idiot comment, wondering if that sounded a little harsh. But it's true. If you're just copying, I'm going to stick with that one. Anyway, I got myself distracted, and so then I wasn't really paying attention. So you got to really pay attention right here. You got to be careful. You're plugging these values into the formula. So what I had done is I put this one first because I really don't know why, but that's b, and this is m. So negative b, so the opposite of 4 is -4 divided by -2. Yeah, there we go. So now, let's do the other one here, standard form. Check this out. Standard form. Here's our shortcuts for standard form. A lot of people don't teach it this way, and these are shortcuts. I mean, they come from somewhere. We learned where they come from, but this is the takeaway. These are the things that make it quick and easy, right? So the slope in standard form is going to be -a over b. So if you look, a is 4, b is 2, c is 8. So our slope is -a over b. So -a over b. So that would be -4 over 2, which is -2. So oh, look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! They look like they are parallel. All right. Well, that means we're either going to have an inconsistent system or a dependent system. Let's find out. Let's find our x-intercept. Now, x-intercepts and y-intercepts from standard form are super easy, right? So we have c over a. We have c over a. C over a. So that's going to be 8 over 4, which is 2. Oh, look at that. They're the same exact line. They have the same slope. They go through one point that's the same. They're going to go through all the points that are the same. All right. Let's go ahead and find our y-intercept, though. The y-intercept is c over b. So that's 8 over 2, which is 4. So 0, 4. Right? So this one is going to have infinite solutions. Right? Infinite solutions. So let's go ahead and graph it anyway. So let's see here. So we have 0, 4, and we have 2, 0. Since this one's really easy, I'm not going to count the slope. I could, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Works either way, is the same. Let's go ahead and connect those dots. Boom, boom, done. So this one right here, right? These two lines, they coincide. They have the same slope, same x and y intercepts. It is consistent, but dependent. Right. I didn't actually go through graphing the other one because it's exactly the same things, but yeah, so it's the same exact line. All right, now let's get to the second page right here. All right, so let's go ahead and do this one. Yeah, why not? All right, so these are both in standard form, right? So here's our cheat sheet for standard form, right? Drop my ruler again, that's just crazy. So let's go ahead and figure this out. Let's do our slope first. Let's do our slope for first one. It's -a over b. So here, a is 4, b is 1, c is -4. And for our second one, a is 1, b is 2, and c is 6. So let's do our slope. Our slope is -a over b, so that's going to be -4 over 1, which is -4. All right, let's do our x-intercept, c over a, so that's -4 over 4, which is -1. All right, now let's do our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is c over b. All right, so it's going to be -4 over 1, -4. Oh man, that's pretty quick. It's pretty easy. Let's do our second one over here. Our slope here is -a over b, right? So it's going to be negative 1 over 2. Our slope is negative 1/2. Well, man, that's kind of ugly. All right. Now our x-intercept is going to be c over a. C over a, that's going to be 6 over 1, that's 6. And our y-intercept is going to be c over b, which is 6 over 2, which is 3. All right. So let's go ahead and graph this, right? Now, a couple things. So for example, the first one's pretty straightforward. I'm just going to go ahead and put 0, 1 there. 0, negative 1, 0, sorry. 0, negative 4. I'm going to go ahead and connect those dots. All right, nice and easy. Be real careful. All right. Now here's one of the things with standard form that's kind of cool. You see, 6 is a little bit off my graph. And I need to have a perfect graph because I got to figure out exactly where they cross. So I'm actually not going to use 6. I'm going to use 3 and then the slope. So I could use either one of these points in the slope, or I could use both of these points. So I'm going to use this, and now my slope, down 1 over 2. Up 1, left. Oh, look at that. That's exactly up. So you can go down and right, or up and left, right? So I'm going to go up 1 over 2. Man, down 1 over 2. There we go. That's what we got right here. Those cross right there. So that looks like it's negative 2, positive 4. Negative 2, positive 4. So this is consistent. It's also independent. That's how they work. So I hope this has been helpful. Use the information, right? You've got all this information from your notes. Make use of it. Don't lose it. You're not writing it down just for fun. Make sure you're using all this information, okay? So when you're done, I'll put a link in the description so you can go and check the answers. You can look at all the different solutions. It's all worked out. And you can check your work, make sure you're right. And hopefully you really learn from this. And on the next test, you're going to slay it. Anyway, hope you guys have a good day.